When picking a show to watch, I use a handful of rules, one of them being stay away from shows involving high school girls. It's a good rule because these type of shows tend to be dreadful, especially if the female cast has multicolored hair. Rainbow colored creatures are nature's way of saying stay away. Anime with high school girls are boring, predictable, slow, and you can bet your top hat you're not walking out of the show with any deep social insight. Well, unless you count this. So despite being a slice of life anime with Skittles haired girls, I did give Interview of the Monster Girl a chance. The animation looked solid and the male protagonist was an adult with normal hair color. I just recently marathoned the show like the couch potato that I am, and I have to say I was a bit confused. Nothing even happens in the show. For some reason I sat through all 12 episodes and all I remember plot wise is 4 girls getting advice from the biology teacher who has a habit of making Freudian slips. I'm not exaggerating in saying the show is literally just 4 people talking to each other, but still, even with the weak plot, many people did think it was a good show. It has a median rating of 7.8 out of 10 on Anime News Network, which is very good. For the longest time I tried to think of a reason why a show with no real plot ended up being so successful. After rewatching some of the episodes, I began to see the reason why the show did as well as it did. The show does well because the characters' struggles are relatable. The main characters' inherent differences make them stand out. We know what they are feeling because we most likely went through something similar. This is what keeps the show interesting even with its simplistic plot. We want to see the next episode to know how the characters deal with being different or outcasts. The show is centered around a biology teacher named Takashi. Takashi is also a student in the university and he is doing research about a phenomenon known as monsters. The monster girls, which consist of vampires, people without a head, succubuses, and snow women, are also referred to as demi-humans. Demi-humans make up a small population, so they are rare in society. One of the characters, the headless girl, is the cookie-cutter example of someone whose appearance is making them an outcast. As far as we can tell, she is treated differently solely due to her appearance. We see the other girl's discomfort and nervousness around her. When she visits the office of the biology teacher turned therapist, she talks about the fact that she wishes she can just joke about herself and show everyone she is just like them, but you know, with an unattachable head. So many people can probably relate to her struggle to fit in. Imagine being someone with a disfigurement or obese. Then we have the rest of the monster girls, who for all intent and purposes can fit in physically with the rest of the students but are unable to due to internal struggles. The Snow Woman, another main character, does not fit in because of anxiety. In the beginning of the show, we are told that she has moved to a new school and does not know anyone there. She does not tell others that she is the Snow Woman and in fact tries to hide it as best as she can. This causes her great nervousness around people, and then when she hears gossip about herself, she is unable to handle it. In the show, she literally gets cold feet, a metaphor for the fact that she is too nervous to go on ahead and make friends. Almost everyone can relate to anxiety.
I have crippling anxiety.
The succubus, on the other hand, is both physically passable as human and mentally stable, I think. But she self-ostracizes herself so that she does not cause trouble. We learned that out of all the demi-humans, the succubuses run into law officials the most, so this is why she takes the first train in the morning to work, the last train of the day to get home, and lives in the middle of nowhere. It's a sort of self-ostracization. We see the characters deal with not fitting into society, and so even with the mundane plot, we continue to watch because we want to see everything turn out for them. Even though we pretty much know how it's going to turn out, let's face it, nothing disastrous is going to happen in this bubbly show. In conclusion, even though the show has a strange premise with weird monsters, it is still relatable on a personal level. The struggle to gain acceptance in society is as old as time. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing it, a reason to justify why I sat through a show where this happens.
Do